And time goes so fast. It has been 25 years, and over these 25 years until now, I see many of you, and we somehow spiritually connected on different levels. And it is actually very karmic kind of thing. People always ask me, they ask me, where are you located? And I always say, I am located in Arizona. And many people always ask me, why Arizona? So my answer is, I don't know. Maybe karma. As a Tibetan growing up in the refugee camp in a far south India, and just kind of like in my wildest dream, I have never ever imagined or dreamed that I will be in Arizona, in the desert. One time I was taking a hike, like just kind of like a few years or like 2 years after I came to Arizona, I was taking a hike on this Papago Park. And it was kind of like an evening and at night, and I climbed up on one of the, just little hill. And so I was just kind of sitting there meditating, looking towards the valley, and it looks beautiful with the sunset and like the view of the airport, and there's all this thing. And then I kind of like reflect a little bit on my life, and I was like, wow, where am I? And then just kind of like, I don't know, maybe something really touched that I karmically somehow I landed here. And the first time when I first came to Arizona, it is a little bit more than 25 years ago, actually. First time I came to Arizona, maybe some of you I met that time. That was 1998. And it was kind of like an interesting journey when I first came here, because like I was part of this mystical tour that we are actually doing this kind of a, what do you call, tour around America with the sand painting and sacred music, sacred dance, to support the monastery in India. So that year I was chosen as a group leader. And after I came to America, so that organization is located in Atlanta, Georgia. And so their first trip that they asked me to go was to Arizona. So I was landed in Atlanta in few days, and then they said, okay, so we schedule you, the group of monks, me and 10 monks, and we all had to travel to west, somewhere called Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. So I didn't have any idea. And then we were like, okay, so we are ready. And then how are we going to go? And because we have so many things with us, right? So it was a little bit difficult to go in the plane. because to build the Zen Mandala, we have so many things. And then for the sacred music, sacred dance, we had like a musical instrument, right? Like a long horn, cymbal, drums. So those are actually maybe cannot fit in the plane, or it was a little difficult. So they said, we arrange you to go by bus. And so I never knew how big America was that time. And I thought, okay, okay, by bus, it's okay. How were we going to go? And they said, you are going in a Greyhound bus from Atlanta to Dallas, Texas, and you change in Dallas, Texas, and take another bus from Dallas to Phoenix. And I said, how many hours? And then it was like a long hours. And then it is not only me. And I just came from India, so we used to take a lot of travel in the bus and in the train and things like that. So we didn't really mind. So somehow, we actually took a bus, and that was a very interesting trip because it was long, and then the longest part was coming from Dallas to Phoenix. And so as the American saying goes, are we still in Texas? Right? So that actually experience I had. Like going in the bus long time, and then you just open your eyes, sleep a little bit, and then you just look on the freeway, you still see the sign, Texas. So it is like, we were like, are we still in the Texas? When are we going to end the Texas? And it was a long trip. So, but somehow, when we landed in Phoenix, we landed at night, and the next morning, I went to the park, and there was kind of like good weather that time. It was spring, and it was like a wide open spaciousness that actually I felt, in the morning, first time when I see the sunrise of Arizona. And maybe that time something actually kind of invoke karmically that I really liked it, and maybe I made a wish that I come back here or something like that. Somehow that wishes came actually true, and then I kind of wanted to start a Dharma center in Arizona. So that is how it all started. And then it was interesting. Sometimes dreams are dreams, right? But I just remember right now when I was just pulling in, looking at the Emaho, building. And for me, in my eyes, I kind of the color looks like a pink color. And because of the sun, all these things. And then immediately I remember, the first time when I came to Arizona, I had a dream that it was just a real dream, that I dreamed that in somewhere in northern Phoenix, there is one pink building that it says that it is going to be your center. It is, so I don't know, maybe dreams are just a dream, right? But sometimes there is a kind of a little bit of prediction kind of things. And then, as I was pulling in, I was like, wow, I just remember that dream. Long time, yeah, that is right. So anyway, just kind of like I am so happy that over these years I connected with all of you on a spiritual level, and I really believe that we all had some karma in the past life that we made a prayer that we meet each other, and so maybe this is one of the karmic, the wish that we made long time in the past, sort of like coming together. So today we put this together to celebrate, and just kind of like I really don't want to say many things. Just kind of like we are here to celebrate, and as a part of a celebration, we had a wonderful Geshe. Many of you know him, and some of you may be kind of meeting him for the first time. And Geshe Namgyal, Sangpo. So he was, in the monastery, my student. And then, we had a few Geshe over the years, as my assistant, we had a Geshe Champa for a few years that he was, really helping with many people to learn Buddhism and meditation and things like that. And then after that, we had a Geshe Lobsang. He had a, just kind of like a lot of teachings that actually happens. And some of you may be spiritually connected with Geshe Lobsang. And now, just he actually left our center. And, presently we have a Geshe Namgyal. And so Geshe Namgyal is actually, because of his language thing, he couldn't teach, but he is good in ritual, and especially in the monastery, he was trained to do this kind of like a beautiful sand painting art. And usually when we actually create the sand mandala, it is kind of like created by 4 monks, because this mandala has a 4 direction. So each of the monks will use, each direction. So, and this time, just by Geshe himself, one person's creation, that he actually, put a lot of hours to put this mandala together, and this kind of the symbol of this mandala is, as you know, it is a Chenrezig mandala. And we have a Chenrezig, which is actually a compassion embodiment of all the enlightened beings. And this year, somehow, we choose the compassion deity, the Chenrezig. We have many different reasons. One of the main reason is this year, all over the Tibetan, Buddhist community, who respect Dalai Lama, we celebrated His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 90th birthday. And so somehow there was a big kind of celebration, just kind of like a 90th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and then many communities actually recognize, and I think maybe the United States government also did recognize that this is going to be the year of compassion, the peace of compassion, or something like that, because His Holiness the Dalai Lama, all these 90 years he has been working on, for the benefit of world peace through, teaching compassion, the importance of the compassion, things like that. So that is why this year is considered as a year of compassion. And so that is also, we dedicate one little part of our, this putting together is also part of celebrating His Holiness the Dalai Lama 90th birthday as to celebrate the year of compassion. And so I think many of you may be somehow connected with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And for personally myself, my actually life spiritual journey began because of his existence. Somehow, like I was recognized as the reincarnation of this Lama called, like ZaChoeje, which is, I'm holding the name. And so in my case, I was just kind of like growing up as an ordinary boy, right? And then just kind of never ever thinking that someday I will be some kind of spiritual boy or something. But when I was 16 years old, out of blue, suddenly, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama sent a letter to, my home, and then my father was carrying that. I think many of you already know that story, that how shocking I was, because for me, on a, kind of on the relative level, when I first saw, my father with the letter and how he's holding the letter in his hand with a scarf, like a kata, and then, putting the letter in the scarf like this, and I didn't have any idea what was going on. So that, the day I was just taking a nap in, boarding school, and I was coming down the stairs, and I saw my father was bowing. And I didn't know why he was bowing, right? So if I knew, maybe it was not so shocking and surprised. But, he was bowing, and so that is kind of like how my life actually changed from an ordinary kind of a person to, take the spiritual journey. So, I always kind of like think I might have a very strong good karma with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, that His Holiness the Dalai Lama somehow kind of picked me out of all these people. Okay, you are going in the wrong direction. And you are supposed to go this way. So, that is how I felt. So it's just kind of like I was kind of lost somewhere. I was 16 years old, didn't know what to do, and then somehow, he picked me, and then saying that, okay, this is your path, this is your, this is your life journey. So somehow, I kind of like think that His Holiness, changed my life, and so somehow, even after, when I started my spiritual journey with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I learned many, many things from His Holiness, and just kind of like one of the most important lesson that I learned from His Holiness the Dalai Lama is, as his message was always the importance of the compassion. Just kind of like the how the compassion and loving kindness is the key to your spiritual, development. And so that is kind of nothing to do with the religious belief or philosophical belief. His Holiness always says that as long as we are like sentient beings who have a consciousness, and that consciousness actually like laid on the nature of compassion. So somehow we all have a compassionate and loving nature that we are carrying, so that is why it is like the primordial nature of our deep consciousness, our being in a way. So it is just kind of tap into that and respect that, and then just kind of like that is what he taught me, and that is like over all these years, I was doing my best to, practice compassion. As you know, that, to practice loving compassion, kindness is a challenging. It's not easy path. It is just kind of like but somehow, I feel like I did my best. And that's kind of like, what most important thing I learned from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And when I came to America and I, asked him, and one day I asked him, so what should I focus, and he, because I got, had to get a permission from him to go. And then he gave me permission to go, and then he said, yeah, that time I was 30 years old, so kind of young, and completed my Buddhist studies in the Eastern, monastic sort of a setup. And then he said, okay, just go to West and learn, learn the Western way. And one thing he said, when you go to, in the West, don't try to convert people. That's what he said. It's kind of like if people ask you they want to learn something, then you actually teach them. But don't, kind of force them, because that is not a Buddhist way. He said Buddha never tried to make people into, Buddhist or his followers. It is kind of not important to put the label. So that is one of the advice that he actually gave me, and so that is why, whenever people come and ask me, okay, please teach me all these kind of thing, then I do. So that is how, I lived. And then over the years, we have so many different spiritual, things that we learn, and we have connected, on a different level, sometime on a empowerment level, sometime on a ritual level, sometime on a, academic kind of level. So many of, just kind of I, always keep in my heart. And so this life we have, learn from each other, spiritual, things. And I hope that, life after life, we help each other spiritually. And so that is what we are here, and just kind of my appreciation and my gratitude for being here, all of you being here. And then I wanted to actually use this mandala, the compassion, Chenrezig Buddha mandala that Geshe has created. And so I want to actually do kind of invoke the compassionate nature in there, and do some kind of Chenrezig, what do we call? We call this a consecration. Consecration of the mandala, because this is the piece of art that is, it is just kind of to make it a little bit more spiritual, to bring spiritual energy. And Geshe, actually when he was making it, he was he also did the consecration already. And so just kind of today is the existence of this specific mandala for the last time. And so Geshe's job is to create, and my job is to dismantle. I feel bad. Right? For many days he has been working. And then, I come here, and then when we were doing the tour, at many places we made the sun mandala, and the monks were creating the mandala, and at the end, I was the one who was dismantling. I said, that's the worst job you can get. But somehow, it is the symbol of life, right? It's just kind of life is, we make, gather many, many things, and then beautiful, and then, just kind of make it spiritual, bring the spiritual energy into it, and then, and the beautiful part is that, we all carry that little piece of energy into our life. And then, sometime, traditionally, what we also do is we kind of gather it, all the sand, and then bring it to the river, spread it into the energy into the river, and sometime, go into the high mountain and then spread it to the wind so that the energy, the carry, the wind will carry and water will carry, and sometime fires, burn that fire and the smoke will carry, and so things like that. So I will begin to do this first invocation. And as a part of invocation, what we actually do is we set this whole environment into a spiritual environment. And then, just kind of bless this piece of art that Geshe has created, which is, and like a mandala. And then in that space, we actually kind of bring this visualization meditation of Chenrezig, like the whole kind of celestial mansion and the mandala of the Chenrezig there, and then, bringing and generating the Chenrezig in our meditation. So just kind of generate, and then somehow, we also sort of do some offerings to the Chenrezig, and then seek blessing from the Chenrezig, and then somehow just kind of bringing the compassion Buddha energy into this mandala. And then this mandala, not just like an art piece, it will become a spiritual, filled with the spiritual energy. All right? Okay, so while I do this, it's not going to be a very long kind of a, what do you call? Not a long ritual. It's going to be a little short. And I will also a little bit explain what I am doing. So you can also sort of put your little bit of meditation into it. All right? So the first of all, what we do is, as a part of to make it into a spiritual practice, then we actually do the taking refuge and generating bodhicitta, the popular chanting called the ZaChoeje Rinpoche. That one I will do 3 times, and then after that we will do the 4 immeasurable prayer, which is kind of the 4 immeasurable prayer is, may all sentient beings be happy and have the cause of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and, causes of the suffering. May all sentient beings never be separated from the happiness that is free from suffering. And may all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from both attachment and detachment. These are the 4, immeasurable prayer. And that is in every spiritual activity, we always use that as a preliminary. And I will also do that. And if you know how to do this chanting, please feel free. And if you don't know the Tibetan chanting, then you just kind of in your mind, just visualize. Just think of the meaning. Just think that, okay, this chanting, the meaning is this one, something like that. All right? So please put your hands together and join me to do this refuge and generating bodhicitta, and 4 immeasurable prayers, okay? Sangye Zhedan Zoye Zhuanan La Janju Bandu Dani Gyabsun Shi Dagi Jinzu Yebe Zonaman Yin Tola Pinju Sangye Drubara Shu Sangye Zhedan Zoye Zhuanan La Janju Bandu Dani Gyabsun Shi Dagi Jinsu Yebe Zonaman Yin Dola Pinji Sangye Drubara Shu Sangye Chudan Zoye Chunan La Chanju Bandu Dani Gyabsun Ji Dagi Jinsu Yebe Zonaman Yin Dola Pinji Sangye Drubara Shu. Now the 4 immeasurable prayers. Simje Damje Dewa Dan Devi Gyudan Demba Gyuji Simje Damje Dunge Dan Dunge Gi Gyudan Dewa Gyu Simje Damje Dunge Mebe Dewa Dan Dewa Gyu Simje Damje Nyere Chadan Nidan Teve Dan Nyongla Neba Gyurun Ji Simje Damje Dewa Dan Devi Gyudan Demba Gyud Simje Damje Dunge Dan Dunge Gi Gyudan Dewa Gyuji Simje Damje Dunge Mebe Dewa Dan Me Dewa Gyud Simje Damje Nyere Chadan Nidan Teve Dan Nyongla Neba Gyurun Ji Simje Damje Dewa Dan Devi Gyudan Demba Gyud Simje Damje Dunge Dan Dunge Gi Gyudan Tewa Gyud Simje Damje Dunge Mebe Dewa Dan Me Dewa Gyuji Simje Damje Nyere Chadan Nidan Teve Dan Nyongla Neba Gyurun Ji. Okay, now next one is we are blessing the environment. So I will do that chanting, okay? O Damje Done Zaje Ta Sema Lazo Meba Dan Lade Danya Bendu Ye Ranjin Jambo Ne Gyurun Ji. And now, you know, that environment is blessed, and we are going to bring the offerings of, you know, like offering of water, offering of flowers, incense, you know, all different sorts of offerings, you know, just kind of like imagine, like we have some setup here, but just kind of like, you know, in your mind, you know, we are going to, you know, kind of visualize like the limitless offering, because we are going to invite the Chenrezig, the compassion Buddha, you know, energy here. So that time we can make the offering to the Chenrezig. So that is part of our, you know, blessing the offering part, okay? Kunjo zumge denpa dan sangye dan chanjo senpa tamje ge chinge lab dan sonye yonzo zobe nga dan chenpo dan chugi yin nabra tajin samge mijabe topge. Tishin yidun gyurun je ladan miye chöben ze ngoso shamdan yige zhu kusan chudin lana me. Namge kamgun kyab gyurun je omo namo bagawa de benza sara parmadana tada gadaya araha de samya sambudaya teya ta. Beze ma deza beze ma biya beze ma bodhi zira beze ma bodhi mendroba samanta mana beze sarva karma. Awara nambi shoda nambi ze soha kunjo sumye denpa dan sanje dan chanju denpa tamji ge chinge lab dan sonyi yonzo zobe nga dan chenpo dan chuji yin nambara da jen samge mi jabe dobge di shin ye don gyurun chi. Okay, so this is blessing the environment and blessing, this one. And now I am going to generate this into the emptiness, and then from the emptiness, generate the actual mandala of the Chenrezig. And then in that middle of that mandala, in the celestial mansion, we actually visualize the Chenrezig, the four-armed Chenrezig. And there are many different forms of Chenrezig. The Compassion Buddha has many different forms. But, this mandala is a four-armed Chenrezig. Somehow, this four-arm, sort of like he just kind of like holding the two arms like this, and then other two arms kind of like holding like this. And then on his right hand, he was holding a crystal mala. On his left hand, he was holding a lotus. So that's just a symbol. And so somehow, what is the meaning of the four arms? The symbolic meaning is the four arms symbolizes the four immeasurable prayers. Okay, so that is, so there are many things, the symbolism kind of like things, but it will take a long time to explain each and everything. So anyway, I will just generate the mandala, and then, just kind of, we make the offering and all seeking the blessing, and then there will be a time that we will all recite the mantra together of the Chenrezig. The Chenrezig mantra, the compassion mantra, is Om Mani Padme Hum. So we will, just kind of like bring that energy and then just spread this energy throughout the world, throughout the universe, so that bringing more compassion, loving kindness, energy into this world, into our life, into the universe like that. Okay, so first let me do the kind of like a consecration of the mandala here. Omo benza amenda gunda le hana hom pe omo sambawa shudo sawa dharma sambawa shudo hamha dongba nido njuro dongbe nga le omle rinpoche nuen yang shen kya chewa namge nangdo omo wedo shuwa le chunwe shun jabze me do dugbe mamen teja shese roma nam tangshen toba meba namka da nyambara njuro Omo ara gama ba de bu ben du be aloge gen de new de shabda shabda a hon shabda a hon shabda a hon shabda a hon omo shabda a hon ranye ranye lama hara seve ranye lama hara seve ranye lama hara seve tuga ne Tuga never sent true, Tuga never sent true, Tuga never sent true, Dungi, King Gordini, Dongba Nido, Juro, Dongba Nido, Juro, almost Sambawa should Sawa Dharma, Sambawa should Ham. Dongbe Ngale, Dongbe Ngale, Dongbe Ngale, Dongbe Ngale, Dongbe Ngale, Dongbe Ngale. Dongbe ngale rile pa jo Chenrezig rile pa jo Chenrezig karse we serenga den tro zumdang tuje jinge si cha xie dangbo te jaran je wonye xie den pegara nama da da rin jinge ge te rida bagbe de yo se ba me ge u yen jin sham nye do je ge run shu jimen da wara ja den ba kyamne kundu ngoro gyuro Kyamne Gundu Ngo Juro, the Juro Omoga Wondimba Ama, Tugar Hong Be Sembara Juro. Tuge Honle Vezre, Trebe Ranjinge, Nene, Papa Chenrezig, Papa Chenrezig, La Sanjita Chanju Sembe, Soge Goa. Dinge Namkara Jen Tang, Dinge Namkara Jen Tang. Malu simjen gunge gunjuro shen du de ponje me se jomde la ngwana malu yanda ken jurbe jomde gorje nedre she su su jomde geba jangme tu ma ro jola je tuje namja je molan ja je gongba yongzo Geshe Rodun Zedun de Lana de ZaChoeje Poran Ludon Zenrechen Lana Zodun Zeshe Taye Simjen Sonan Zhueje Yongda Kodan Jede Sheksu Su Yongda Kodan Jede Sheksu Su Za Humo Pamo Ho Za Hum Pamo Za Hum Pamo Ho Nisu Mebara Yuru Damze Badan Isheba Nisu Mebara Yuru Omo aya avaloge de sabare ware ara gama ba de dube alonge gende nu de shabda parde zaun so ha 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 Gyenge magwe kundo karan zo sanje ola jen tuje chenge ndola se Chenre se la cha cha lo Chenre se la cha cha lo Chenre se la cha cha lo Pagba chenre se Pagba chenre se la zo khodan jeba namge dadan simje tamje gen gyula Chama ninje chanchu ke seme jema mayimba gyula gebara chinge labdu se Pagba jere se la zo khodan jeba namge dadan simjen tamje la Chama ninje chanchu ge seme jema mayimba gyula gebara chinge labdu se Pagba jere se la zo khodan jeba namge 다당 심제 탐제게 탐제게 gyula chama 닝제 장주게 세면 좀 많이 봐 gyula 깨와 진게 랍도스 진게 랍도스 Okay, so now I visualize the mandala, this art piece of art and the actual mandala, they are same, and then invite the Chenrezig here. The energy of the Chenrezig is already here, and then we will actually make the mandala offering to the Chenrezig. So if you know how to do the mandala offering, then please recite. If you don't know, then you just kind of like visualize that you are offering the universe to the Chenrezig, so that the Chenrezig will bless the universe bring the lot of compassion energy into the universe. Okay, so I will begin the mandala offering here. Idama Guru Radna Mandala Kamne Reyatayami. Okay, so this is a mandala offering, and now we make another offering, which we call the 7 limbs, prayer offering. So this offering is first you do the prostration, like a bowing, and then you actually sort of like offer all the things that is, we have already visualized and imagined, like a limitless offering you make. And then, you also do some kind of like a Digvatamje. Sosur means sort of like I confess all my negative karma, I purify. And then, I rejoice for all the great things that is happening in the universe, like, all the virtuous things. And then, I sort of like, I request you to remain, I request you to remain with us so that you can, bring more peace and compassionate energy. And then just kind of like, also sort of like requesting to remain forever. And then dedication. So these are the 7 limbs prayer. So we will do this one, short chanting, and you can actually visualize like that, okay? So I will do the chanting. So this first one is the bowing, okay? Gosumo gube gone chaza lo ngojama yedu cheba malembe tome nesa de don tamje ja geba gewa namla jeyera korwa madon pado leshune dola cheye kolo gowa dajen gena chanju chemboro. Okay, so then, you make a request to the Chenrezig. Okay, so you just kind of like, you just totally feel the energy of the Chenrezig here in this mandala, because I already kind of made the invocation. The Chenrezig energy is here, the mandala is all here. So you just kind of like bow, and it is a good kind of like asking for a blessing. So this asking for a blessing is saying that Chenrezig, please bless me and all sentient beings with the love, compassion, and bodhicitta, just generate in us that energy. Please, help us to bring that energy. So that is what the meaning is, and we can just, I will say that, and you repeat that in Tibetan after that. That's seeking blessing, okay? So please put your hand together and really feel, just kind of like from your deep heart that the Avalokiteshvara, the Chenrezig, is right here in this mandala. And you just kind of genuinely seek this kind of like asking for the blessing from the Chenrezig. And so please repeat these verses after me. Pagpa, Chenrezig, Hazo, Khordang, Cheba, Namgi, Dadang, Simjen, Tamjegi, Gyula, Chamba, Ningje, Chanjugi Sim, Chema Mayimba, Nyurdu, Gyula, Kebara, Chingi Labdu Se, Chingi Labdu Se, Chingi Labdu Se. Okay, so that is a seeking blessing, and then let us all, with that energy, now please, say the mantra of Om Mani Padme Hum. So the mantra is, if you know this mantra, then, you say it, and some of you, maybe you know it, you forgot, but it's difficult to forget once you know it, right? But somehow, this is a compassion mantra. And this compassion mantra energy will bring a lot of love, compassion, peace, and happiness. And if just kind of like I will just give you this oral transmission. Even if you have got this oral transmission before, it's okay. But if you are getting it for the first time, then again, just kind of like because the mantra energy, we believe that somehow Buddha Shakyamuni, when he become enlightened, so he connected, right? So he connected with the embodiment of the love, compassion, like enlightenment, right? So somehow this mantra is a kind of like a sound. The mantra is a sound, but somehow mantra has a lot of interesting energy, the sound energy. And this mantra kind of like not randomly put, the kind of sound together, but each kind of sound it kind of resonate differently energy. So that is why Compassion Buddha mantra is kind of like we believe that the Shakyamuni Buddha actually given to some of his disciples, and then those disciples actually somehow like we believe that it is like a orally energy is kind of like orally sort of like a transfer, given from one person to another. So I will just kind of give you this oral transmission of the compassion mantra. And so that is, I will say the mantra and you repeat the mantra 3 times. And that way you already got the, compassion mantra kind of like energy. And then if you recite this, and somehow it will kind of be more effective and more powerful. All right? So please take this mantra energy I will give you and repeat the mantra after me, okay? Om Mani Peme Hum. Om Mani Peme Hum. Om Mani Peme Hum. 좀 대한 딜랑게 딜랑으로 막 뒤주 땜바 제도 쇠 나게 무도도 쇠 도질로만 되는 게 줄라 찬주 마토게 파도 파바 젠레시기 진람마 르반주반주로지. Okay, so with this now you already have the Chenrezig compassion mantra energy, and now let us recite this mantra together, and I will begin the mantra. So there is a little kind of melody that you can actually catch the melody easily, this mantra. And so please put your hand together and let us recite this compassion mantra few times, all right? Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Om Umo benza sado samaya manu palaya benza sado deno batira dero mebo sudo kaya mebo subo kaya mebo anurado mebo sawa sende mera yanza sawa karma suzame siddham shiriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawana benza mame muza benza bawa mahasamaya sato ahun te Gewan di ye nyuro du da Chenrezig wan du nyuro ne do wan chi kya ma Okay, so this is the little dedication. And so now, we actually seek the blessing and connect with the Chenrezig, the compassion. And it is very actually important, just kind of like, even though we kind of bring the embodiment of all the enlightened being in the form of this four-armed Chenrezig, the main, ultimately, that compassionate nature is within us. It's, it is never separated from us. It is, that is why it is called the primordial nature. And somehow, that is the compassionate energy, the compassionate nature that we all have. We are carrying that all along. And so that is kind of like to actually invoke that. And somehow, like when we actually think of love and compassion, we think that we have to generate love and compassion. But sometimes I kind of little bit play with the word by saying that actually we don't have to generate. It's already there. It's just kind of the compassionate and loving energy we are carrying all along. One thing, why are we not feeling it? Because we are not kind of like noticing it. We are not recognizing it. Why we are not recognizing it? Because many times we have a little sort of like a misunderstanding about the quality of the compassion. The compassion actually is like we admire compassion. But then sometime when we actually sort of like look into what is compassion, and many times our interpretation of the compassion is sort of like a little bit, we are scared. We are scared. Like, if I become compassionate, if I become a kind person, then like what happened? What will happen? Right? It's just kind of like somehow our interpretation, like how we define love, compassion, is kind of weak. Like, but it's opposite. Compassion, love, and all this kindness, they are not the sign of weakness. It is the sign of strength, actually. Opposite, totally opposite. It is kind of like when we have a genuine sense of love and compassion, it is kind of like it is like you. It's kind of like you actually becoming more strong. Actually, it's like you're building the strength. You're building the inner strength. So it is like it's opposite. Actually, this energy that we carry, it has a lot of energy that bringing, and somehow, like the source of all the energy that we have is our love and compassion. Because of our love and compassion and kindness that exists deep within us, and that is actually the source of our energy. And we actually know that, right? Sometimes when you are, just when you actually feel this genuine sense of love, you just get so much energy. You don't get tired, right? You don't get tired. It's just kind of like, because it is the more actually we tap into our own compassionate and loving kindness nature, then it is kind of like when we open that up, it is just giving you a lot of energy. It will giving you a lot of strength. So, but somehow, we need to actually overcome that fear, the fear of, just kind of being good, being kind, right? So that is why, when we actually seek blessing from the, Chenrezig, it is kind of like we are actually kind of seeking blessing to overcome from the fear that we actually somehow exist in us. So once that fear is gone, then it will be easier for us to open that loving, compassionate energy. And so that is just kind of like I wanted to little bit share the meaning of the compassion and how to bring that compassion into our daily life. All right? So now, just kind of like we have the mandala here, so I will invite all of you. Okay. So I hope you absorb that, spiritual mandala energy of Chenrezig into. So it is kind of like when we make the mandala, then at the end, people actually come. It's kind of like the view, like a viewing of the mandala, which means kind of like you view and you just kind of take the all the energy, the spiritual energy, and into sort of like let it absorb into you. And and somehow, just kind of like all the beautiful, this art piece, all the credit goes to Geshe Namgyal. And there are so many beautiful symbols in there, just kind of there's like the middle, in the middle, like there's a flower, and that flower actually is the symbol of the Chenrezig. So this is not some regular flower, it's a lotus flower. So the lotus has a meaning, like when we actually say Om Mani Padme Hum, like Pema means actually lotus. So it is like, lotus is a symbol, so which means kind of like the lotus grow from the, the mud, but it is the flower itself is not polluted by the mud. So that is kind of like it's a symbolically saying that even though our conceptual mind, we have so many negative thoughts and negative energy, but the spiritual, like the compassion and the wisdom that grow out of it, it will open like the flower. And so this is kind of like the opening of your spiritual energy is a symbolism of the opening of the lotus flower. So that's a Chenrezig, symbol in the center. So there are so many things to actually explain, but just kind of like sometime it is not so important to know logically, right, intellectually things. You just kind of open your sort of like intuition, and just whatever it is, there is a beautiful energy there. So this energy is somehow you need to, take it, and somehow that will resonate with your compassion, So that is our mandala, and then now it is our time to do the dismantle, and I hope Geshe doesn't have an attachment. Right? Sometime when you make a beautiful art piece, right? And that's also, it's a life, like we built our life, the creation, it's a beautiful creation. But somehow we also need to accept the change. So the accepting part is kind of like, it's a beautiful, it's just kind of like all become the dust, all dust, and then we also carry that energy. And so here, for the one last time, we are going to make the offering and bowing to the Chenrezig, So I will do this offering chanting, and you can just visualize that you are also making this offering and bowing. Okay? All right? Omo Arya Logeshara Sapare Ware Aragam Pa De Bube Dube Alonge Gende New De Shabada Partizan So Ha Shabda Partizan So Ha Shabda Partizan So Ha Kyungi Magu Kundo Karando Sangege Ula Yen Tuje Jenge Dola Si Chenrezig La Cha Lo. Okay, so this is a offering and bowing, and now we actually but somehow we just have to maybe Geshe will do the round because I have this one, so Geshe kiran koraji gyabdarwa koraji. So I will recite the 100 syllable. Geshe kira chajacha. So we have to do the 3 round for the. So on behalf of all of you, all of us, Geshe will do the 3 round. Okay? Omo benza sado sama ya manu bala ya benza sado teno batidande do meba sudo kayo meba subo kayo meba anurado meba wa sawa sinde meba yenza sawa kama suzame te tamashire yama guru hum ha ho bagawana benza mame muza benza bawa mahasamaya sado ahum pe. Oh yeah. Benza sado samaya manu balaya benza sado de nova de rado meba sudo kayo meba subo kayo meba anurado meba sawa sinde mere sawa gama suzame te tamashire yama guru hum ha ho bagawana benza mame muza benze bawa mahasamaya sado ahum pe. So now this is actually kind of like if in the process of making the mandala and then doing the invocation and all this ritual, if there is some mistake that we made, the mistake is not done intentionally. So maybe there is some kind of mistake. So please kind of like we accept that, something like that. So that is the part of the chanting. Okay. Kanyang dalo mongbaye nyeje chungse kanje ba kanje lujen kyabyin gunjun de gunze banze manye yongso ma she dan kanyang ne ba ma che ben dine chawa kanje de gunju ge zhe ren dala ngo zhon cho zhe we dinzen gun ge de bone simjen ko la ji de be ngo zho la na me ba ze do se kyu ge simjen tun gun ze Jesu tembe ngudoze sanje yudo shene jang Larian Jumba Zedo Su, Larian Jumba Zedo Su, Larian Jumba Zedo Su, Larian Jumba Zedo Su, Larian Jumba Zedo Su. So now it is saying, please, it is time to do the, conclusion, dissolution. And so we will do the dissolution. And then, please bring all your energy into this and bring us a blessing. Yisheba Ranjinge Nesu She. Tamzeba Duzunge Nambara Gyuru Duzunge Nambara Gyur Oma Agaru Mogasarwa Dharma Adenubeda de Oma Ahum Pe Soha. Nubne Chore. Oma Agaru Mogasarwa Dharma Aden Oma Ahum Pe Soha. Omo agaro moga sarva dharma adenubeda de Omo ahum pe so ha Omo agaro moga sarva dharma adenubeda Amen samada da Omo ahum pe so ha Omo agaro moga sarva dharma adenubeda de Aname samada da Omo ahum pe so ha. Oh, yeah. Okay. Mo ahum pe so ha, mo ahum pe so ha, jigden deshin lo le dan, duna peshin chebe dan, dele tamje jungwa dan, ye la deba gwendu sho, Chenrezig wang udu cho zewe, kinguro che de gomde, la so ban druben gewe da dan drowa gwen, Xingzhou dewa jendo gewara sho. Okay, yeah, oh yeah. Okay. Mahu, 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 mahu. Mahu, 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 yeah. Mi jurlumbo kuyen trashi sho yala drojo sunge trashi sho ta den de me tugen trashi sho kewe kusun tuge trashi sho. Okay. So now this become like a rainbow body. If you want to take a picture of the rainbow body, that is that. So it is spreading, the energy in everybody. You take this Chenrezig energy and just kind of like bring more love, compassion, kindness, and peaceful energy into your life, and also, just kind of mentally pray for the peace of this world. And I think right now, like whatever happening around the world, we need to put a lot of effort to bring more prayer. I think this is a very crucial time right now, that so many people in the other part of the world are really struggling. And so, without too much getting into the political kind of involvement, just kind of sending our good wishes. And that's what we can do, You can just send like a prayer and like a, peaceful energy towards all the, people who needs it. And then we will conclude now by doing this prayer for the peace of the world, and then also for the happiness of all the sentient beings. And then, just kind of like as we dedicate this compassion mandala for His Holiness, so we sent our prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama to remain in this planet in the form of as a 14th Dalai Lama for a longer time, so that like his energy will help to bring more peace and happiness into this world. All right, so I will start some dedication prayer, and then we will conclude this today celebration. All right. Kare rave gorve jinkang dere pendan dewa malun jungwe ne Chenrezig wan tenzin gyatso ye shabe side pardo tengyuro chi Chanjo semjo Rinpoche magye ba namage gyuronji Geba nyamba meba yang kone kondo pewara sho. Mijuru lumbo kuye trashi sho yang la tuju sunge trashi sho taden dume tuge trashi sho. Gewe kusun tuge trashi sho. Okay. All right, so thank you for coming to celebrate this 25th anniversary of the Emaho. And so today we are done with the celebration, and now we can, eat and celebrate again. All right, so thank you all. Yeah, please, at the hall, we will gather there and eat our food tonight. Okay? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So this is a long life prayer that is composed by His Holiness the Dalai Lama for me, and that's like some people they want to. And every time when you do the long life prayer for me, I do long life and good health prayer for you. So we just kind of, share each other. All right. So thank you. Yeah.